through all aspects of our life. Because things happen. And how do I maintain that love energy? And I thought, and I talked to Stella last night, and I said, Stella, here's what I want to do. We've got to change our mindset. There's a phrase that we use that we think is negative, and it's really a positive when we're dealing with the love energy. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? I don't. Many of us have friends and acquaintances who dominate the conversation. And it's all, and they talk about themselves. And you see them. I have a friend that every time we're around a friend, I'm not mentioning names, none of you. That person is not in this center, so do not mention. But when we talk, it's all, here's what I did, here's what I did, and so the domination and the chatter, chatter, chatter. So Stella came up with a word last time, which I love. She said, they're involved in versation. Instead of conversation. So I said, gee, my wife is so smart, I've never heard that word. So I go to the Webster, and I'm going through the website, so it's not in there, maybe I'm spelling it wrong. So she coined this new word, you've heard it for the first time here at the PLC. Well, the idea is this. When this person's chattering on and chatting and all that, we tend to, we want to be friendly, we don't want to insult and say, shh. So we listen, and what do we think? What is the words that we always think? Anybody can say the phrase?
Shut up.
Shut up. It's always all about him. Have you ever said that? Come on. Most of us. It's always all about him. But you're thinking, you're not saying it, and you tolerate it because you want to remain friends. Well, when it comes to the love energy, that phrase that we put a negative attitude on is a very positive thing. When we start talking about this love energy, it's all about me. It's got to be. We cannot experience love unless love shines in our heart. Do you agree with that? Yeah. We cannot do it. Yeah. So when we start looking at this idea of love energy, it's all about Angelo. It's all about each one of us. And the bottom line, I think, is this. If we put a small value on who and what we are, the universe will not raise the price. Would you agree with that? If I put a small value on an animal, and I'm putting a small value on Angelo, when I allow myself not to experience that love energy every moment of the day, and then the universe is not going to say, oh, okay, we're going to raise the price. Loving myself means several things. I'm going to do everything in my power. I'm going to do everything in my power that if that emotion of fear enters my experience, when I'm dealing with any situation, I'm going to do everything in my power to reject it and to eliminate it from my emotions and my thoughts. I'm going to do everything I can, which means we're alert every time, because fear enters our thing. When we start talking about this or that, or example, we're going to write a grant that's going to bring us money to do something. Yeah, my fear is maybe they won't like us. So what? I'm not going to accept fear. I'm going to accept love. And so we do everything in our power. And loving myself means this. I'm going to not allow the contents of this universe, of this world, to take dominion over my consciousness, over my feelings. I'm not going to allow it. Because I know that when in my final breath, when I'm ready to transcend and go someplace else, I can't take one penny with me. So I'm not going to allow the economy to dominate my life experience. I love myself enough to where I'm not going to bring that in. And so it goes on with fear, because I'm not going to be fearful. I don't want the cells of my DNA to destroy my immune system and destroy who I am. I'm not going to do it. So I love myself enough like that. Loving myself means that I'm going to embrace gratitude. I'm going to be thankful for this air I breathe. I'm going to be thankful for my friends. I'm going to be thankful for the PLC. I'm going to be thankful. And I'm going to spend every day in gratitude. And here's the neat thing. I will not settle for good enough. I will not settle for good enough. I won't do it. And that means I will not settle for something that's not as good as I can be. I will not do it. There's a story about that. This professor, it was the end of the semester, and he was ready to give the final test. So all the people and the students are there, and he says, and I've had this happen to me, by the way. I won't tell you what I did. He said, you know, if you guys like your grades of where you are, you don't have to take the test. You can accept the grade that you have at this moment. So half the class gets up and leaves. Some are still there. So he repeats, he says, I'm serious about this. If you're content with the grade that you have, we'll count that as your final grade. You do not have to take tests. So the rest of them leave except for 3 people. And there's one person in the back row, a guy, and he says, well, why are you still here? And he says, because I want this final test to improve the grade that I have. Oh, I accept that, that's good. And what about you? Another person says, well, I've studied hard for this exam. Why should I not take it? I've worked hard for this exam, and it's going to tell me if I've gotten anything on this course. I want to take the exam. And then the third person said, I will not accept good enough in my life. I never have, and I never will as a guy. I'm not going to settle for less than what I really am. I'm taking the exam. And the professor said, well, you have just taken the final. This is the final. Never settle for good enough. Never settle for less than who you are. And all of you have gotten the A. Isn't that cool? Correct for the loving ourselves, and we're going to write this down, we're going to close with it. Loving ourselves means we keep in mind a certain amount of things. When other people are angry or unkind to me, they're not describing me. They're describing their own emptiness and fear. I always have a choice. I can live with it and like it. I can live with it and hate it, or I can reject it and leave it. If I believe that someone makes me angry, I give that person the power to utterly control my happiness. If I'm unhappy, I'm seeing or doing something wrong. On the whole, other people's mistakes are none of my business. 1 ounce of effort I put into changing me is worth a ton of effort trying to change anyone else. So this month, what are we doing? We're accepting that which we are. We come fully equipped. We come here as a potential. At the moment of our birth, we become a unique possibility and destined to unlock the magnificence that we are supreme beings occupying bodies. And all we need to do is embrace and experience that love energy within ourselves. And say it loud and clear. And so, that's it.